What to do, everybody? It's boy Mr. Welcome to the video today. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a moment of silence? All right, a moment of silento. All right, a moment of silencio. All right. EDP 445. Every damn pedophile 445. Eat that pastrami 445. His channel's gone. But wait, there's more. His channel isn't the only one that's gone. Chet Goldstein, the channel run by Alex Rosenberg, I believe it is or was, whatever it is, the channel is also gone. Guys, there is so much to unpack here, so much to discuss, so much to understand, and I'm going to try to put all of it inside of about 10 minutes. So bear with me if I speak a little too quickly or if I assume that you understand certain things. Now, when this first began, this started as the channel Chet Goldstein exposing EDP445. Eat that pastrami, all right? Everyday pedophile 445. Being exposed for being just that. Now, the problem with him being exposed was not just the fact that he was being exposed. It was the fact that he was being exposed, and the person doing the exposing also had some major skeletons in their closet. I'm talking about everything from saying all kinds of crazy racist stuff online to oddly enough, being accused of the very same thing that they were exposing EDP for doing. Now, both channels seem to have been deleted by YouTube. Now, I will say this. While this has happened, shortly before that happened, the channel was actually wiped clean of all of the videos. And by the channel, I mean EDP445. The channel was wiped of all of the videos. Now, since going back and looking, his second channel, EDP445 2.0, still has the two videos that he originally had up there. But this saga is insane. I gotta say, it's kind of crazy. How do I feel about this? Well, YouTube has investors. It has investors. It has people that make sure that the website continue to run, and these people that own YouTube, essentially, they may not want to be involved with a site that has certain things going on. I don't know, things like people being accused and proven to be like pedophiles left and right. Maybe things like both of the people involved in the situation being terrible people. Things like that. Essentially, it was a business decision, and I pretty much understand why YouTube did it. It makes perfect sense why they decided to actually get rid of both channels. I mean, you pretty much cut out the middleman, right? You don't have to decide. You don't have to pick a side on anything. Essentially, we go, hey, Thanos, poof, both of you guys are gone since you guys want to make so much trouble for us. Now, as far as the EDP situation, I think that my thoughts, I've been waiting to really give my thoughts on the situation. More of my thoughts anyway on the situation. Specifically because once I watched the actual interrogation, several things became very clear to me. One of those things was that Predator Poachers was a very shoddily put together interrogation, investigation, series. It was not very well put together. I mean, sure, you spoke to EDP for about 2 months. You spoke to him for 2 months. However, I'm not really sure about what exactly is going on as far as whether or not there's going to be any investigation into EDP because of this. They didn't speak to the police until the very end of the episode, and Bryant was already getting in his car, flying down the street, going back home to eat some more of that pastrami. You know what I mean? It's very strange the way that this whole thing has kind of unraveled on both sides, really. EDP pretty much the day that he actually like was exposed, the day that this clip first started making its rounds on websites like worldstarhiphop.com, he kind of just started like, he immediately dropped the video on his YouTube channel and said, hey, like I'm gonna be deleting a whole bunch of my stuff because I'm just going to be doing that. Shortly after, everyone quickly understood why he was going to be deleting a whole bunch of that stuff. Oddly enough, some channels actually, like, you know, took heed to what he said and quickly ran to his original channel and pulled as many of those videos as they possibly can, or could, rather. And I gotta say, it's a very interesting, I guess, like, turn of events that's happened here. This whole thing was a fuck ton of mess, pretty much. Everything from EDP actually being exposed to Chet Goldstein being exposed, to the internet losing its mind over everything that's going on in this situation. I feel like, honestly, this is the perfect way for this whole thing to be like capped off. You know what I mean? I think that in the case of EDP should absolutely be going to jail. Whether or not he's actually going to, I don't know. And that was another reason why I didn't want to like necessarily speak on that part too much, because dude, we were dealing with essentially amateurs. It was two dudes who during the actual like investigation were like too busy like running off jokes that they had written down than they were about like actually like getting this dude off of the streets. I mean, they spent majority of a 55-minute long video just like trying to get as much of the same information out of EDP as they possibly could. But they didn't really like do anything as far as like, in fact, they even had a point where they kind of like held it over his head like, hey, like, give me one reason why I shouldn't call the police. Call the police. Call the police, bro. Like, what are you doing? Call the police. This is about getting pedophiles off the street, bro. This isn't about teaching Bryant a lesson right now. He can learn that lesson later on. But again, it wasn't handled very well at all. It was actually handled very unprofessionally. So for me, I actually feel like this was a good lesson for like everybody, I think. Especially like for the fans like watching everything, you know what I mean? Like everything that happened in this situation was something that was the result of some major oversight that several people made. Whether it was the fans making the oversight about EDP in the first place after he clearly went out and like acknowledged that he was like this, or like Chet Goldstein and his homie like making the oversight that, hey, we got videos where we say a whole lot of really weird shit and do a whole lot of really weird shit, and I think we have a mugshot. Holy shit, there's a mugshot. Things like that, you know what I mean? EDP445. This is the end of an era. This is the end of the EDP445 era, bruh. The end of a time where people could enjoy his videos and not have to worry about like any sort of stigma or too much of a stigma while they were actually watching them. It's not going to be like that ever again. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a wrap for ADP's YouTube career. That's not coming back. It's literally never coming back. And to be honest with you, I feel like Chet Goldstein has to have like the world record for the fastest rise and fall on YouTube. Holy shit, bruh. Holy shit. I mean, dude, we're talking about a channel that went from what, like 1,000 subs to like 100K subs inside of like a week. And then the following week, you get deleted. It's insane. That is absolutely incredible. But I'm not gonna lie. I feel like both channels in this situation like deserve this. Do you not feel like they kind of like deserve to have this shit like pulled down? I mean, dude, listen, this whole thing was such a big mess. Such a big mess, bro. It was such a weird mess, such a weird situation. And it's like, dude, if you're gonna be putting this much of yourself out there, you should at the very least like do your homework to make sure that like you're gonna be in some way, shape, or form covered. You know what I mean? I still feel like there's going to be more. There's going to be a lot more to happen with this situation. But right now, this is pretty much closing that chapter. Man, and what a weird and wild ride it has been. You know what I mean? Of course you do. I said you know what I mean a lot of times. But man, listen, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for both channels, man. You know, one day we're gonna look back on everything that happened in the span of this last week to 2 weeks, and we're gonna like really understand how insane it really has been. Man, I guess there's really only one thing to do. Like, comment, and subscribe, bruh. You already know. Alright, listen. I am Mr. 8-Bit Raw. I have a mic. Not sure if you know it, but I have a drill. Like, comment, and subscribe. Especially if you're new. And be easy, Drill Gang.